The newest athletic director in North Texas has big shoes to fill, and the job comes with extra scrutiny.
Celina ISD's incoming athletic director will replace a legendary football coach who stepped down when his son was engulfed in a sex crime scandal.
Jobin Punniker just went one-on-one with the new AD to talk about moving forward.
Every new job transition is different, especially true for Celina's newest athletic director, Brent Whitson.
The biggest challenge here is regaining public trust.
He is replacing Bill Elliott, who was here 33 years, retired after a chaotic few months where his son was charged with sex crimes in his role as a former middle school coach.
I'm semi-famous for having said it too many times. I'm going to take care of kids, job one. Take care of kids every day. Job two, we're going to go to work regaining their trust. And we're going to do that by being in front of them.
Brent will not also be the head football coach. The district has split that role, and Brent likes it that way.
Did Bill Elliott reach out to you?
No, not yet. I'm going to reach out to him. I'm going to thank him for setting up a phenomenal situation and for, in the athletic department, leaving me the keys to an Escalade.
There is no escaping the dark cloud that hangs over athletics and Celina. Brent says he understands that.
Any decision I make that's not in the best interest of a kid is a mistake. There's that balance between privacy and safety and supervision. Well, I've got to tell you something. Safety and supervision are going to win.
And that goes for especially what happens in locker rooms, in classrooms, and on the field. Brent says he is not his predecessors, but will fight to keep a winning tradition, especially as Celina moves from 4A to 5A this year.
Half the people in this town are throwing arrows at me and half of them are blowing kisses. I have to figure out who's what, and at the end of the day, get them all to at least respect me.
His official start is in late March, but he's already taking coaches' meetings, and he's looking for his next head football coach.
Who is Celina ISD getting in an AD?
Lisa's husband, Tanner and Carter's dad, and that governs every decision I make. And that's a pretty heavy burden to carry.
In Celina, I'm Jobin Punniker.
Right now, Bill Elliott's son Caleb is facing federal charges of sexually exploiting children. Caleb Elliott was arrested on state charges 4 months ago and charged in November. He taught history and coached at Moore Middle School and is accused of taking invasive photos in the boys' locker room. Celina ISD fired him after the arrest. An independent probe concluded that no staff members were aware of the alleged misconduct, including Caleb's father, Bill, who was AD at the time.
A big name is backing a plan to tear down City Hall and potentially pave the way for a new Mavs arena. Downtown Dallas Inc., which manages and promotes economic development in the city, says it is in favor of tearing down this 47-year-old building. This after a controversial report that puts the cost to repair it at nearly $1 billion.
We believe that our mayor and our city council members will be acting as responsible stewards of our tax dollars by approving a relocation.
The perception that I have gained is that the average taxpayer of our city is adamantly opposed to us making a decision to get rid of our city hall.
The Mavs have looked at the City Hall lot as a possible spot for a new arena after they leave the AAC in 2031. Meantime, tonight, Dallas City Manager Kim Tolbert tells WFAA the city will continue its effort to keep the Stars in Dallas. They are the Dallas Stars, after all. In an interview for Sunday's Inside Texas Politics, Councilmember Chad West says the Stars have a formal offer from Plano to move there. Plano denies that offer has been extended, but they have expressed interest in being the new home for the NHL team.
Now to a live look outside on a balmy evening. Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus is here now with our first look at a weather alert day.
Here's my observation. They're the Dallas Cowboys. They were in Irving. Now they're in Arlington. All right, here we go. It's been an absolutely gorgeous night. We hit 81 today. At DFW. That's another 80-degree day this winter, and I'll talk about those records in just a moment. It's a nice weekend, but I want to give you a big heads up. As we head into next week, an unsettled weather pattern, and it all begins on Wednesday, and that's rain. Finally, some rain. It's on and off on Wednesday. It starts late Tuesday night, on and off on Wednesday. A few isolated thunderstorms, maybe even some small hail and some strong wind gusts. So as we head through the weekend, make sure you stay updated on the forecast. You may need to adjust your outdoor plans next week, Wednesday, and then the days that follow. And please download WFA Plus to your TV. All clear out there right now. Oh, just a passing cloud or two, but Other than that, we'll have a little bit of cloud cover around tomorrow morning and maybe a spotty shower. Then the sun comes out, we hit 84. The sun is out on Sunday, we have a high temp of 82. We stay in the 80s on Monday and Tuesday, and then we start to see some rain Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of next week. And then the Monday and Tuesday that follow. I'll have that rainfall forecast. The complete 14-day outlook is coming up.
Sunday is when you'll see the most significant traffic impacts. Closures begin as early as 5 a.m. for the full and half marathon, stretching from the Cultural District north toward the Stockyards, through downtown and south into the TCU and Magnolia areas. Impacts last into the early
A lot of
afternoon.
runners will be watching the forecast this weekend, as well as the roads. Traffic anchor Stacia Wilson will walk you through all the closures for the Cowtown Marathon in Fort Worth. Follow WFAA on your socials to get updates like this on your feed.
Early voting wrapped up in Texas just 3 hours ago. This has been a record-breaking early voting period. Adriana de Alba explains why and what this could mean heading into Election Day in just a few days.
Today marked the last day to vote early in the Texas primary, and so far, Democrats are outpacing Republicans when it comes to turnout. But with key races up and down the ballot, both parties can agree a lot is at stake.
For those who wanted to vote in the Texas primary early,
I vote every time.
today was their last chance.
Just wanted to get it done.
Yeah, I just wanted to get it done before things got really busy.
Talia Salazar waited in this long line in Arlington to cast her ballot.
I feel hopeful, for sure.
Hopeful for what?
For change in Texas and the political climate.
The turnout for this primary is high.
The U.S. Senate race is hot on both sides.
In just the first week of early voting, turnout had already outpaced early turnout from recent presidential elections and midterms. And Democrats are turning out in large numbers.
Democrats think they see a blue wave coming.
The latest numbers from the Texas Secretary of State showing so far more than 1 million Democrats have already voted in person and by mail statewide. That's 12% higher than the nearly 906,000 Republicans who have voted.
And Republicans will have to figure out what their message is on the economy and affordability, in particular, where Trump is lagging in the polls. And they'll have to generate some enthusiasm.
Until then, it's a wait and see. In Tarrant County, I'm Adriana de Alba.
And time's running out for Tarrant County to ensure all its polling places will be open Election Day. Yesterday, election officials told us they're still short a couple hundred clerks and 20 election judges. These are the people who run the polling centers and oversee the vote, allowing you to make your voice heard. If they don't close the gap in the next 72 hours, some locations might not open. Our Election Day coverage on WFAA Plus starts Tuesday at noon, and our results special begins as soon as polls close at 7 with reports from across the state. Look for live reaction from our Yalitics team at 10:30.
And of course, one of the most high-profile races in Texas is the GOP primary for U.S. Senate. Senator John Cornyn, Attorney General Ken Paxton, and Congressman Wesley Hunt are in a contentious race, each candidate trying to paint themselves as an ally of President Donald Trump. All three men were in Corpus Christi today as the president visited to talk energy and economic policy. Our station in Corpus asked the president whether he would endorse a candidate.
The problem I have, and it's a problem that I have elsewhere too, you have people running that are all friends of mine. It's a very difficult situation just on a human basis. And I like John. You have an excellent attorney general, you have an excellent senator, you have an excellent congressman, you have three excellent people.
President Trump said he would likely chime in on the race after the primary.
Bill Clinton made history tonight as the first president ever forced to testify before Congress. The House Oversight Committee questioned Mr. Clinton about any past ties to Jeffrey Epstein. He hasn't been accused of wrongdoing and told the committee he had no idea about the crimes Epstein was committing. The government's files included several photos of Clinton with Epstein, but they were taken after he left office and before Epstein was under investigation. The committee just announced it'll release transcripts of Bill and Hillary Clinton's depositions in the next 24 hours. We're coming to the end of Black History Month, and tonight we're taking a look at the first black millionaire in Texas. Brittany Moncrief reports on the burning desire that drove it.
Revenge is complicated. It puts urgency against patience, satisfaction against regret, and needs against wants. But being born just 1 year after slavery is abolished and constantly living through injustice William Madison McDonald didn't just chase revenge, he built it.
That property located at 1201 East Terrell was originally built as a 3-story mansion by the man known as William Madison McDonald, who is recognized as the first Black millionaire in the state of Texas.
William McDonald built his mansion in Fort Worth in 1906, and historians say that everything he did with intention.
He was able to find a Black contractor and construct this home, and the instructions that he gave to the Black contractor is that I need this house to be a replica of the house of the plantation where my father was enslaved.
In fact, one of the men who enslaved William's father was Nathan Bedford Forrest, the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. And although William was born free, he still felt the effects of slavery.
He was speaking all over the state of Texas about civil rights and activism. He seemed to be completely unfettered by Jim Crow, the vestiges of slavery.
Now, naturally, one might ask, how could a Black man speak so freely and so openly about civil rights at a time when it could mean death?
William McDonald had a knack for making friends and impressing people who saw his genuine intellect.
He later met Edward Howland Robinson Green, a railroad capitalist and the son of one of the wealthiest women in America at the time.
They became power brokers in the Republican Party, and that is how McDonald began to amass his wealth and notoriety.
William started the Fraternal Bank and Trust, the first Black-owned bank in Fort Worth.
That bank had assets of close to $1 million by the Great Depression.
William also opened Fort Worth's first Black-owned hotel and developed the historic South Side, also known as Terrell Heights, and he also established the Black Business District.
He was an architect that literally carved out a Black community, house by house, business by business, resident by resident.
Now, we told you William did everything with intention, from the time he stepped foot in Fort Worth to the time of his burial in 1950 at Oakwood Cemetery.
He chose a lot that was facing what was then the headquarters of the Fort Worth chapter of the Ku Klux Klan. Specified that in his will. Probably in 1950, you could look straight across and see the Klan building.
William knew he could only be buried in the Black section of the cemetery, but he made sure that the Klan could not miss his gravesite, marked by a 38-foot marble obelisk.
Constant reminder of, I beat the odds. You know, you didn't faze me. The weapons you formed against me did not prosper. Nah, nah, nah.
It's revenge that was deliberate, giving William the last laugh. I'm Brittany Mockery.